All right. All right. I know a little impromptu, but this is just how it's going to be. Life's a little crazy. Little update first and foremost. I've been working my butt off for little money, but isn't that just all of us? That's probably all of us. So if you guys want to help a guy live out his dreams, and basically we can all kind of maybe get there together. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, go check out some old videos, ask for some new videos in the comments. I'm aiming to make this the #1 Nintendo content channel in all of history, so that is the goal. I've been doing all right today. Today is July 7th. Okay, we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza coming soon, and we're going to be talking about that just a little bit. Not going to be very long today. Um, well, here's the big points here. Here's the big talking points. Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to have some features that I'm pretty sure some people just weren't thinking about. I was talking to somebody a while back um, about some of the features that were added to both Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. There was an update shortly before launch of the Switch 2 in June that had been updated on the Switch's operating system, and you are probably familiar with that if you have a Switch yourself. And that was that we had the virtual game card feature added at the end of May, which they told us that they were going to add. And then the game share feature surprisingly made its way onto the Switch console. And that was a nice little sweet surprise. Well, a friend of mine had told me that he was like, well, there's no way that they're going to have any Switch 2 games that you'll be able to play. That's not going to be possible. They're not going to let you do that on the Switch. Well, sure enough, totally wrong. They were wrong about that, 100%. Because sure enough, if you guys have seen the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, which I am sure 100% that you've had the opportunity to do so, because I'm a little bit late on reporting and talking about this. But for the sake of the fact that I got a little wind in me, I got some time to chat. That is 100% what they reported in that direct. We're going to go ahead and bring this up here in just a second. Once I get this on here, give me a second. Oh, there's that crisp. That crisp. Couldn't do no audio, but I'm going to bring this up for you guys to see. Get that window capture. Voila, here we are. Whoa, I don't know why it's all the way over there. There we go. There we go. Why does it look like that? Am I tripping? I am tripping. I'm tripping. I'm gonna have to forgive me. I'm still getting used to doing the whole thing here. What in the world is this thing? There we go. Getting used to all the stuff here still. So, um, we got the direct here, right? Playing. And here's the thing. Basically, in this direct, they went ahead and I think they bring it up here later in the end, the latter half of the direct, which is about it was just 17 minutes long. Right here, at around the 14-minute mark, they bring up the two-player co-op function, which you can do with just one console, right? You can play and have somebody play as a second player. But this is the big thing right here that I want people to kind of take a peek at so that they can see some of the things that we can expect in the future. I'm gonna pause it right there. The idea that Nintendo is kind of getting at here is that your Switch 2 is going to be the just the housing for a lot of these higher performing softwares. This is just the device that's really going to be capable of. Whoops, my bad. Where'd we go? Where'd we go? This is going to be the device that is capable of housing these higher performing developed games, but the developers are still keeping in mind that the Nintendo Switch is still a great device. It is still a widely used device. A lot of people are not going to make the transition to Switch 2 very quickly, and that's understandable. What the heck is going on here? Hold on, a little technical issue. Little technical issue. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me see what's going on here. Sorry. I don't know why it's saying that. What's going on here? Well, it's literally fine. So I don't really understand. It just gave me a little thing. It was like, hey, there's a problem. Sorry about that. It may be more visible in the what do you call it? I guess the VOD, whatever they call that. But anyway, concept here is that the Switch 2 and the Switch are, especially with this game share feature, are kind of going to go hand in hand. Obviously, we know that there are some games that are set to continue to release on both platforms, such as the Pokemon game. So Pokemon Legends ZA, that's going to release on both Switch and Switch 2. Now, obviously, we've seen that the Switch 2 version of games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Pokemon Scarlet, and Pokemon Violet, those games perform far better on the Switch 2. Um, and so we can expect that the Legends ZA is going to perform far better on Switch 2, but that ZA will still be a game that you can play on the Switch. And given that it's Pokemon, personally, I picked up Pokemon Violet, and that was my first Pokemon game that I ever played. I picked that game up for my Switch. I had an OLED, and I played that game on that system. And despite having some of the issues that the game is notorious for, I still I enjoyed that game so much. That's my first Pokemon game. I know I've still got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to see of the Pokemon games and the Pokemon world, but I'm just putting it out there that I most certainly do not think that the Switch is already done. I don't think that at all. I think that the Switch is still, I would say, a powerhouse for entertainment and fun. In terms of graphics, we all know that the Switch doesn't always have the upper hand when it comes to maybe some other systems, especially not the Switch 2. But that just kind of case in point shows that the developers and the hardware team that worked on the Switch 2 did a good job. That they have built a system that still gives us the familiar delivery that we have come to enjoy over the last 7 to 8 years. So that's kind of the good thing about it. That's what we like. So y'all are gonna have to give me a second here. I will be right back. All right, sorry about that. So pretty clearly, this is the game plan. I mean, this is kind of how consoles go. I think me personally, when I saw the Switch 2, when I first experienced it, I think there was a part of me that kind of, at first, just was a little bit, I would say, I think disappointed. And I think a lot of people were disappointed. But I think I was disappointed for reasons that, were just purely, just building up kind of a lot of what ifs and this and that. And that is particularly why I do not participate, or I try to refrain from hearing rumors and just kind of, when people do leaks and stuff like this and all that stuff that, in my opinion, I think ruins console launches. It ruins the excitement that we begin to have and that we like to experience when we get new things from these companies. So, um, I think some of that kind of slipped in was kind of is probably partially responsible for just a lot of the disappointment I had at first. And but I've come to see that the Switch 2 is I mean, it really is exactly what they told us it was going to be, and really it's kind of the system that I think that we really need for uh, the next however many years. So I'm very excited to see a lot of the games going live. I'm excited about Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm not so lucky as to already have a Nintendo Switch 2. Again, I've been working so many hours, but you know it's rough out here financially, even with all the hours. Um, but soon we will have a Switch 2. Soon I'll get the capture card situation figured out, and I'll have what I need to get the hardware done, or get the get the streaming going and have the hardware for that. I mean, even now, it's like I'm looking at like a technical error on the computer just streaming right now. So it's like, well, working through that. But I think I'm fortunate enough that I've got a friend who he's got a Switch 2. He brings it over, and we get to I still get to experience the Switch 2, and really see what Nintendo put together. And so it'll be exciting. He's going to be picking up Donkey Kong Bonanza when it comes out, so that'll be a lot of fun. I will do my best to give you guys at least an update of my experience with it. If I am fortunate enough to give you guys gameplay, then I will absolutely do that. Uh, but that pretty much wraps up everything for the live that I have at the moment. Um, if you if you are 100% one of the people like myself that you want to talk Nintendo, you want to chat Nintendo, you guys want to go over it, you want to then this is the place to be. Again, this is what I'm dreaming and hoping one day will be the number one Nintendo content channel in all of history. I know it sounds kind of crazy to some, and it's like, bro, what are you even talking about? But hey, all dreams, different shapes, different sizes, and this just happens to be mine. So I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate my subscribers. Comment what you'd like to see on the channel in the future, whether it's in live, uh, any whether it's a video format or in shorts. Just let me know. I'd be happy to go ahead and do my best to create that and put that here for everybody to experience, to watch and discuss together.